Has history ever dressed you up for controversy? As we all know, the Met Gala of 2024 happened on Monday, 6th of May. The theme for this event was called The Garden of Time. In the whirl of flowers and sand at the Met Gala 2024, Hailey Khalil, a TikTok content creator with millions of followers that goes by the name of Hailey Bailey, started a revolution against the rich and famous. Hailey wore a gown that was inspired by Marie Antoinette, complete with opulent layers and intricate flower embroidery. But it wasn't just the dress that turned heads. It was the sound that she chose to use for her TikTok post. The notorious Let Them Eat Cake. Here is the full video that she posted.
Let them eat cake.
Here, take the bomb.
This phrase, let them eat cake, was famously associated with Marie Antoinette, the French queen. However, she probably didn't actually say those words. For starters, it was the queen's response upon being told that her starving peasant subjects had no bread. Because cake is more expensive than bread, the anecdote has been cited as an example of Marie Antoinette's obliviousness to the conditions and daily lives of ordinary people. The original French phrase that Marie Antoinette is supposed to have said, "Qu'ils mangent de la brioche," which actually translates to "let them eat brioche." But since brioche is a rich sweet bread made with eggs and butter, almost as luxurious as cake, it doesn't really change the point of the story. However, there is also no documentation or eyewitness reports that record her ever say anything similar. In fact, the phrase was only ascribed to Marie Antoinette 50 years after her death in 1843 by the writer Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Karr in a journal called Les Guêpes. Even then, he writes of how the rumor is false. Hailey Bailey's choice of attire at the Met Gala 2024 was a Marie Antoinette gown, complete with opulent layers and intricate lace. Her TikTok post, set to the infamous "Let Them Eat Cake" sound, set off the flames of rage with the public online. The video swept across TikTok, accruing views and likes at a dizzying pace. Hailey twirled and posed in the grandeur of her gown, her smile beaming through the camera. But as the video gained traction, the tide of public opinion began to shift dramatically. People flooded her comments section, their words sharpening into accusations of insensitivity. The choice of Marie Antoinette, a queen who was out of touch of reality, struck a discordant note. Coupled with the "Let Them Eat Cake" audio, it really showed how oblivious Hailey was about the situation. Here are some of videos which were stitches that were made along with the original video.
I'm telling you right now, if the Let Them Eat Cake girl from the Met Gala teaches us anything, it's that no matter how famous or influential or popular you are, you absolutely need to have intelligent and well-read people in your circle. You need to have intelligent and well-read people with you at all times. Because how did no one in her entourage, or even just like in the general vicinity, like how did no one hear her say, "Let them eat cake"? And they go, you know what, actually contextually, that's probably not the best choice of words.
That was an interesting choice by your marketing and PR team. They finally said "let them eat cake" out loud. You might have just unlocked the rage of millions of people, and I would suggest looking into how that story ends.
But we're not going to eat cake. We're going to starve the rich. We're going to eat the rich.
Let them eat cake.
Here, take the bomb.
Who told you that was a good idea? It's content like this that just solidifies the fact that influencers of this caliber are just living in a completely different reality. I don't know how much this influencer makes, but given the fact that getting a seat at the Met Gala is like $75,000, I imagine a lot. The economy nowadays is so terrible that the majority of people nowadays are just scraping by. This right here is so tone deaf.
The backlash was swift and severe. Users pointed out the irony of flaunting such an ensemble during a time when there is a genocide happening in Gaza. The context of the event itself, costing $75,000 per ticket, only served to amplify the criticisms. It wasn't just a question of fashion, but of context and sensitivity. Discussions erupted online, with debates oscillating between defending artistic expression and condemning what some saw as tone deafness in the face of broader societal issues. Bloggers, influencers, and others weighed in, each adding layers to the unfolding drama. The gown, a masterpiece of textile art, had morphed into a canvas of controversy, not just for herself, but for other celebrities. What is the cost of a ticket to the past, viewed through the lens of the present? The Met Gala, known for its dazzling array of celebrity attendees and breathtaking fashion, carries a hefty price tag. Each ticket to this exclusive evening can soar to $75,000, a sum that could support many families to help them cross the border and escape from Rafah. Yet, in stark contrast to this opulence, there are pressing humanitarian needs across the globe. The juxtaposition is jarring. Here, in a night of indulgence, where fortunes are worn on sleeves and paraded down red carpets, the same amounts could dramatically alter the lives of thousands living in crisis. This raises a fundamental question about the ethics of such extravagance. Is it justifiable to spend such sums on a single night of elegance and celebration, while parts of the world reel from poverty and war? The Met Gala, a spectacle of wealth and fashion, becomes a stage where the disparities of our world are thrown into sharp relief. People argued that these funds could be redirected to humanitarian efforts, transforming the gala from a showcase of excess into a beacon of hope and support for those in need. As a result, people are waking up and suddenly started to block celebrities. Could the capital be closer than we think? In the universe of The Hunger Games, the capital is a metropolis of the wealthy, reveling in opulence and fashion while the districts suffer. This vivid portrayal of disparity and disregard seems to leap off the pages when we look at events like the Met Gala. Here, celebrities and the elite gather in extravagant attire, each ticket costing $75,000, a sum that could significantly impact those in need, such as the people enduring hardships in Gaza. Hailey Bailey, donned in her Marie Antoinette gown, becomes a symbol in this tableau. The choice of Marie Antoinette, a queen infamous for her perceived indifference to the poor, famously, though inaccurately, attributed with saying, "Let them eat cake," in response to hearing the French peasants had no bread, resonates deeply here. It's a stark reminder of the aloofness that can pervade the upper echelons of society, both in 18th century France and perhaps in today's world. The Met Gala, in its splendor, practically mirrors the grandiose and often insensitive festivities of the capital. Guests parade in designs worth fortunes, often disconnected from the everyday struggles of millions. In this light, Hailey's choice at the gala isn't just a fashion statement, it's a reflection of a society where the spectacle often drowns out the substance. And it's not just Hailey Bailey that are mad at. The people online are made at all of the celebrities because of this obliviousness, and also the fact that they are just purposely ignoring about the war instead of speaking up about it. In the age of social media, every voice has a platform, and every platform has its critics. When Hailey Bailey stepped onto the Met Gala's red carpet in a gown reminiscent of Marie Antoinette, she likely anticipated some attention, but perhaps not the storm that followed. The historical figure of Marie Antoinette, often misquoted as having said, "Let them eat cake," symbolizes a disconnect between the rulers and the ruled, the haves and the have-nots. It was this very symbolism that fueled the firestorm on platforms like TikTok. People were quick to point out the irony and perceived insensitivity of Hailey's choice. In a world where the echoes of disparity and distress ring louder than ever, dressing up as an emblem of historical indifference seemed ill-timed. Comments flooded her TikTok posts, ranging from disappointed to downright furious. One user wrote, "While you wear $1,000 gowns, people are struggling to afford basic necessities. How can you be so out of touch?" Another commented, "Marie Antoinette was a symbol of excess and disconnect. Is this really the image you want to project during these times?" The backlash wasn't confined to mere comments. Videos dissecting the insensitivity of Hailey's actions compared to the ongoing global crises became viral, painting a stark picture of a world divided by wealth and awareness. The digital voices grew louder, questioning not just Hailey's choice of attire, but the very essence of events like the Met Gala, where tickets cost $75,000, money that could serve urgent humanitarian needs elsewhere. In response, Hailey's reaction was minimal, if not non-existent, on social media. This silence did little to quell the discontent brewing among her followers and the wider community, leading some to question whether the influencer bubble was too insulated from real-world issues. That was until she posted an apology video, which unleashed rage of millions of people even more.
Hey guys, I know what a lot of you guys want from me right now is answers, and I want nothing more than to give them to you. So, Hopefully, I can answer every question that you have about what happened on Monday night. About a week and a half before the Met Gala, I was contacted by E! To see if I had any interest in being a pre-Met Gala host. There are usually 3 hotels that celebrities leave from to go to the Met Gala. I was stationed at what's called the Mark. I was supposed to do content with celebrities and on air about their departures to the Met. The Met is one of the most exclusive events in all of fashion. You have to be handpicked by Anna Wintour herself to go. That's the only way that you get there. I was not invited by Anna Wintour. I did not hold an actual invitation to the Met Gala. I was involved only as a host, meaning that the moment that the last attendee left the hotel, I went home and I watched the Met Gala coverage from my couch with my friends. That is also why you haven't seen any photos of me on the white and green carpet for the Met Gala, because I was working at the Mark. And I literally wasn't even invited to the Met Gala, so security would have definitely dragged me out. I paid no amount of money to go to the gala because I wasn't invited. Since I was little, I have idolized the Met. I love the costumes and the design, and it has always been one of my biggest dreams to be invited to attend. After entering content creation, I was told that those dreams are nearly impossible if you are not in one of the inner circles of fashion. So when E! reached out to me with interest in being a pre-Met Gala host, I immediately said yes, because I just wanted to get even remotely close to it, just to like see the thing I had idolized for so long. I was at the Mark, which is on 77th Street, and the Metropolitan Museum is on 82nd Street. So that's about as close as I was allowed to get to the Met Gala. People that you saw behind me in my videos were people that were lined up outside the Mark to do the exact same thing as me, which was get content with celebrities as they departed for the Met. The dress that I wore was made by hand by a friend. Mark is one of my nearest and dearest friends. I met him back when I was modeling and we just stayed friends. So then when all of this red carpet stuff started happening for me, I reached out to him and he started to help me and make dresses for me by hand out of literally the kindness of his own heart. I have never paid him a cent. He has never paid me. We just work on the dresses together because we find it to be really fun. Every single dress I've worn on a carpet this year has all been made by hand by Mark. I have not paid anyone anything. I haven't bought dresses. I haven't paid designers. Mark is the only person that I have worked with. Mark does not have a factory. Mark does not employ a bunch of people to work on these dresses. Every single dress he has made for me, he has made by himself with no one else's help, by hand, out of literally nothing more than the kindness of his own heart. And he's one of the only reasons I've even been able to do what I've done this year, because I wouldn't have had the dresses to go to these events if it hadn't been for him. This now brings me to the audio that I used for that particular video. And first and foremost, before I say anything, I need to apologize. I am so sorry that I chose a sound that you guys could ever possibly feel was malicious in nature. If I had thought for even 1 second that the sound would be received that way, I never, ever would have used it. When I film my TikToks, I love to use trending audios and sounds that people are currently using, and this was one of them. The sound has been used in over 110,000 TikTok videos. It's the current trending audio of a glow-up trend in the United States and abroad. It's also been used by different makeup artists in the last couple weeks to create Marie Antoinette looks.
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb? Who took the bomb?
And it's been used by big and small creators alike, with no negative feedback or no negative discussion in the comments.
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Let them eat cake.
Who took the
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
The sound choice truly had no deeper meaning. I never would have chosen a sound on purpose to highlight wealth disparity or elitism. I never even thought it would be taken in that way, because I wasn't elite enough to even be invited to the Met Gala, because I'm not elite. I'm a normal person. My dumb self just used an audio that I thought was viral and trending and that people recognized from the Marie Antoinette 2006 movie.
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
I didn't think that much into it, and for that I am so sorry. I did not do my due diligence. Like, I'm so stupid because the things going on in the world today are weighing heavily on everyone's hearts. Innocent men, women, and children are dying. People do not have access to food and water. People are being kicked out of their homes. There are so many things going on in this world that are just wrong. I know that this situation is very complex. I also know that I don't know the right thing to do or say a lot of the time, which leads me to the question everyone is asking, which is, why don't I talk about it? And it's simply because I am not informed enough to talk about it in a meaningful and educational way. I do not have the background knowledge to educate or discuss in a meaningful way. I grew on social media as a comedy creator, and I love comedy. I love making videos, and that's how I gained my platform. But that doesn't mean that the second I started gaining followers on the platform that I automatically knew the right thing to say when it came to world affairs or wars or disputes or death or destruction or crisis. I still am just that same girl who wanted to post her first comedy video a year and a half ago on TikTok. But I do know that as somebody with a big platform, it is my responsibility to always try to be a positive voice and to always try to better myself and be a good example for my audience, because I never want to let them down. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that my words are used for good. And when I don't think that I'm informed enough on a situation, I try not to comment until I am confident that I am actually informed and the things that I'm saying are true. If the pandemic taught me one thing, it was that sometimes celebrities and creators need to sit down and be quiet so that other people's voices can be magnified. The people that are actually well educated and informed on the situation, they're the ones who should be speaking about it. Just because somebody has a following doesn't mean they're necessarily the right person to speak on the issue, especially if they are ill-informed or uninformed on that issue. I do all of this on my own. I don't have a fancy team that selects my sounds or edits my videos or posts my videos or writes the caption. I don't have an editor. I post everything myself. Everything that you see was probably filmed by either me or my boyfriend, edited by me, and then posted by me. And sometimes I am dumb and sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I don't correctly anticipate how people will react or feel to something, and for that I am truly so sorry. It breaks my heart that a video that I posted has added to any of this. It breaks my heart that a video that I posted has made anyone feel less seen or less heard. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. You do not have to accept my apology, but just know that I am so sorry, and I really hope that this sheds a light on all of these issues and opens up a very important discussion. At the end of the day, I am glad, though, that an unintentional mistake has now been the catalyst for discussing wealth inequality, world crisis, and will hopefully bring about the leaders whose voices should be heard in this. And again, I'm sorry. It is my job as a content creator to apologize whenever I make anyone feel unseen or unheard, even if it's unintentional. And just know that no matter what, I love you, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching this whole video if you made it this far.
This very video made everyone to hate Hailey Bailey and the other celebrities even more, as they are not talking more about the war that has been happening for months now, and instead chose to be oblivious about it. That is what's trending on TikTok and other platforms right now. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.